It's the 111th edition of the U.S. Open Cup. We are live from Don Bachelor Stadium in Grand Blanc, Michigan. I'm Jonathan Turner. That's Ryan Glinsky. We are live right now on the National Soccer Network and Sports Nation TV, on Roku, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And so we are everywhere tonight, Ryan. It is excitement. The crowd is coming in here right now with expecting 3,000 plus here tonight to root on the Flint City Bucks as they host Ford Madison.
Yeah, we gave away a couple tickets on the show this week on the National Soccer Network. They were pumped to even receive those tickets. And when we were out in the community earlier today, they were even pumped for the game itself. Irene's beer garden and kitchen, unbelievable from them. But those people were pumped. And I can already kind of see all the people kind of filing into the stadium. They're pumped. We've been getting some Go Bucks just standing here. But it is an energetic crowd.
We had to get our hands on some of the merch here, Ryan. I mean, we got Carhartt, Flint City Bucks, U.S. Open Cup merch. I mean, it's right above us here off on the concourse. I mean, excitement is in the air, and it's a battle of USL teams. But USL League One versus USL League Two, there is a difference, but not by much, according to both Matt Glaser and Paul Dorr. You had a chance to talk with both of them this week.
Yeah, both of them are excited to get ready to this game underway, but a lot of them have a lot of questions because for Forward Madison, they've only played one game this year. And on the other side for Flint City, they haven't played a game yet. And a lot of new faces to their team. They're still trying to figure things out, and I think we're going to see that in the early goings of this game.
We absolutely will here tonight. We got a lot on tap here in this pregame show. We had a chance to sit down with Matt Glaser here earlier this week. Paul Doro had a chance to talk with Sarah Perkins from Irene's Craft Kitchen, our presenting partner here of this pregame and postgame coverage of this U.S. Open Cup match. So don't go anywhere. We come back here. We'll dive into those interviews and so much more. You're watching the pregame show of the U.S. Open Cup on the National Soccer Network.
In Barca camp, I sing my song "Grown" on and off of the field. Don't miss the time to register.
Sign up now for Barca camp.
The National Soccer Network presents the MLIS and WMLIS Finals weekend. 8 teams battling for a championship at the Orleans Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. Don't miss the excitement March 28th and 29th as the top indoor soccer teams compete for the title. Watch every match live and exclusively on the National Soccer Network.
So the dream behind Irene's was simply to be a place where the community could come and gather. This is my hometown, we're raising our family here, and we just want to be a space where people can come together as a community and share a great meal. We've got golf simulators, we got pinball, live music, trivia nights, but we also have fresh, always homemade, locally sourced food, and we serve it with a sense of Gemütlichkeit. This is a German word that conveys a sense of warmth and coziness and belonging. We're excited to show off how we're growing and that this is the place to be.
Welcome back here to Don Bachelor Stadium. Jonathan Turner alongside Ryan Glinsky. We are just about 20 or so minutes away from the start of this game. And Ryan, you had a chance to talk with Ford Madison's head coach Matt Glaser about tonight's matchup. What can we expect from this interview?
He's going to mention how good they looked against Knoxville, the reigning champs in USL League One last weekend. Big victory for them in the first game of the season. But he might also mention the travel in there as well. It was a little bit icy getting from Knoxville to Flint here this week. When I actually interviewed Matt Glaser, he was actually in Indiana somewhere. Their flight got canceled into Chicago. They're trying to get here, so they've had some issues on some flight. They also will not be playing a home game for the next month or so while their stadium is being renovated, so they're going to be on the road a lot. But Matt Glaser has been really impressed with the side in their last game against Knoxville, and they're expecting the same here tonight.
Well, without further ado, let's go ahead and hear from what Matt Glazer had to say here earlier this week.
We have forward Madison head coach and technical director Matt Glazer. Matt, how are you doing here today?
Hey, Ryan. Thanks for having me. Doing well, thanks.
Matt, heard you guys have been training, traveling a lot here in these recent days. How's travel been like for you guys?
Yeah, it's been interesting. Our flight got canceled back to Chicago after our game on the weekend out of Knoxville. So, yeah, we've had to audible a little bit, and we're up in Indiana at the moment training, and then we'll head over to Flint tomorrow. And excited for the game, and yeah, it's been an interesting week for sure.
Looking now at the U.S. Open Cup, Flint City hasn't played a game yet. How do you prepare for a team that hasn't played yet, and you don't know who the bulk of their players are?
Yeah, I mean, you do the best you can. You try to find out a little bit about. Obviously, it's a club that has a history. It's a club that has a great reputation. We know it's going to be a tough game. We respect the opponent always, and outside of that, we focus on us. We focus on being the best version of ourselves and not knowing too much about the opponent, and really just try to come out on Thursday night and be the best version of forward Madison and see if that takes us to where we want to get to.
U.S. Open Cup, knockout, cup game, whatever you want to call it. Is there a mentality shift heading into a cup game rather than a regular season game for you guys?
No, I wouldn't say that. I just think, maybe we'll probably take a few penalties. We'll probably take a few penalties at the end of training just in case. And, if we end up in penalties, just being ready for that moment. But, I mean, outside of that, look, we want to try and win every contest that we're in. This is an important one and in a historic competition against a good opponent. So, we'll prepare for it, almost like we would any other game, really, apart from not really knowing much about the opposition.
What are some of the keys in your mind heading into this game?
No, it's going to continue to be trying to be hard to play against, trying to be compact in what we do against the ball, and winning our duels, and then seeing if we can add some layers in offensively, create some more chances, even than we did the other night would be my hope. But yeah, like I said, I mean, we'll find out more once the ball gets kicked and on Thursday, and just kind of prepared for whatever comes our way, to be honest.
So maybe this game's kind of more of in-game adjustments rather than pre-game adjustments.
Yeah, I think it will. I think it will have to be. Yeah.
What are some of the key matchups that you like as a coach? Going into a game, is there a specific position group battle on the field that you look at particularly more in for a coach is in a game?
No, I mean, I think look, I think obviously the middle of the field is always important in any contest, so what we look like in the middle of the park and winning our duel, being a team that's hard to play against through the middle of the pitch is important. And then I think for us, if we can get into an offensive rhythm and see what we look like against their defenders, offensively, we've got some dynamic attacking players on the roster this season, and see if we can get those guys into some spaces and create some chances against the opponent. But no, I mean, nothing until I kind of see what the opponent's all about. We'll kind of prepare just as far as trying to be the best version of us, and we'll see what we look like, stick to our principles and the way that we want to play, and we go from there.
In 2024, you guys made a runners-up in the USL Cup. What are some keys to making a deep cup run?
I think having a deep roster. I think having a deep roster when you get into congested fixture, setup, and especially in our league in the summer, I think, or even spring, I think, as injuries come up, et cetera, different things, different variables, midweek games, I think having depth in the roster is super important. So that's something that, that we had that season. And I think we have this season as well. I'm still waiting to find out kind of what we look like. We got a lot of new faces, but I think we have a good depth in the team. And I think, I think that's a big part of it. And then how you respond in pressure moments, like if we're against it, if we go down a goal, if in a knockout game, kind of what our responses are to pressure situations, I think will be really interesting to see. And I'm just as interested as I think everyone else to kind of see how we respond to some of those moments. But yeah, I think those are definitely some things that sort of helped us in that cup run that year.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
So the dream behind Irene's was simply to be a place where the community could come and gather. This is my hometown, we're raising our family here, and we just want to be a space where people can come together as a community and share a great meal. We've got golf simulators, we got pinball, live music, trivia nights, but we also have fresh, always homemade, locally sourced food, and we serve it with a sense of Gemütlichkeit. This is a German word that conveys a sense of warmth and coziness and belonging. We're excited to show off how we're growing and that this is the place to be.
Welcome back here to the U.S. Open Cup at Don Batchelor Stadium in Grand Blanc, Michigan. I'm Jonathan Turner alongside Ryan Glinsky. The pregame show continues here as you just had a chance to talk with Matt Glaser, talking about the difficulties that he's having, obviously, with the travel this past week. I guess their location unknown in Indiana, right?
That's
right.
True.
But and again, they had a chance to play against Knoxville here earlier this week, the reigning champions of USL League One. A great conversation and a great outlook of what they can expect here from tonight's game.
Yeah, I think what I'm looking forward to is kind of the chess match between the two, because talking to Matt Glaser and then Paul Doyer here in a little bit is, well, I asked them, what should we look for? What are the key matchups? And they're like, we got to figure that out too. So I'm looking forward to just seeing that.
And both teams are in the same kind of situation. Obviously, with Ford Madison, they've had a chance to play a game. They've been training together for some time. On the flip side, the Flint City Bucks, they have not had a chance to do that. They've only been playing for a short time. They have a lot of players who are kind of moving in and moving out. And this will be their first test in a U.S. Open Cup first-round matchup. But when you start talking about what's happening across U.S. Open right now in this first round, you've had a lot of upsets. You saw Vermont Green earlier this week upset. You saw Detroit City FC go down a goal in that championship. Unbelievable goal against Michigan Rangers here on Tuesday. You're seeing these upsets. You're seeing things happen. We saw a 14-year-old score a goal yesterday in a U.S. Open Cup match against Chattanooga. And so it's the magic of the U.S. Open Cup. It's unbelievable to see.
We've seen fights, too.
We've seen fights, too. But this is what the U.S. Open Cup is all about. It's about that opportunity for David versus Goliath.
Yeah, and I think I wouldn't say this is necessarily David versus Goliath yet, because it's still USL League 1, USL League 2, but if we were to see USL 2, like a Flint City side advance, get through to the MLS, or against an MLS side, but Flint City's proven they can do that over the course of their history. 2 wins against MLS sides. They're considered the giant killers, and there's a reason for that, and it's a magic of the cup. That's what single elimination soccer is all about, single elimination sports. These upsets, they happen more often than you think, and it's just been an overall crazy week across soccer here in this country, and it's going to get even crazier here in Genesee County here tonight.
That it will. And earlier today, we had a chance, when we drove in here to Genesee County, into Grand Blanc, had a chance to go to our presenting partner in Irene's Craft Kitchen. We had a chance to sample their menu, check out the atmosphere, and Ryan, it was amazing. And there's a lot of these craft brewery kind of environments that you go to here across the state. We know how important, how much craft beer has grown in popularity over the years, and this environment was just unbelievable. I mean, it's the ambiance, the fact that you can play simulated golf in that environment. Pinball. They have an outdoor patio, but their food was equally impressive. I had a chance to try Eric's Wings, sweet and spicy. You had a chance to go the Polish route and try some pierogies. It's an unbelievable experience.
Yeah, it was, and I'm a Polish person, so the pierogies, the bar is up here. That's just the way it is, and I was blown away by how good they were. I even had a grilled chicken sandwich in there as well. The truffle fries were unbelievable. But the atmosphere, it's kind of interesting in there because you walk initially in there and it's a restaurant and you feel that. And then you get over to like the bar side and you're like, wait, this looks like kind of a lounge area, like a library. And then you have the golf simulator, and then you have arcade games, and then you have a patio, which we didn't get a chance to go out there because it was a little cold and a little rainy when we first got here. But it's got everything you could even want. And Sarah Perkins mentioned that they have fresh food from local vendors, and I think that's unbelievable. But I think the most important part about the whole experience was seeing the Ohio State Buckeyes lose in basketball.
No doubt. When Ohio State loses here in the state of Michigan, it's a big thing for us.
Everyone
here in
wins.
Michiganders. Everybody wins, as Ryan says. But let's go ahead and listen to what Sarah Perkins had to say about Irene's Craft Kitchen.
So the dream behind Irene's was simply to be a place where the community could come and gather. This is my hometown. We're raising our family here, and we just want to be a space where people can come together as a community and share a great meal. Irene's is a place based on food, family, and fun. So we've got golf simulators, we got pinball, live music, trivia nights, but we also have fresh, always homemade, locally sourced food, and we serve it with a sense of Gemütlichkeit. This is a German word that conveys a sense of warmth and coziness and belonging. A lot of our tables like to start with the Bavarian pretzel. It comes out like a charcuterie board. It's handmade, takes a couple days to make it. It's delicious. Meat, cheese, pickles, can't go wrong. Cold beer, craft cocktails, mocktails. We love our beef stroganoff that is also freshly made every day, and you cannot go wrong with the double smash burger. Yeah, sure. I mean, we really wish to be the place to gather as a community. Stuff like tonight where we get to host the local soccer club. Fans are here, the energy's high. We love our live music in the summer, all summer long. Sometimes we have live music during brunch on Sundays. And, you know, there's always something to do when you come to Irene's. You know, tonight is really a special event. We're excited to host residents and visitors alike to Grand Blanc. Maybe they've never been to the Garden Building. Maybe they've never seen the renovated Don Batchelor Stadium. We're excited to show off how we're growing and that this is the place to be. So the dream behind Irene's was simply to be a place where the community could come and gather. This is my hometown. We're raising our family here, and we just want to be a space where people can come together as a community and share a great meal. We've got golf simulators, we got pinball, live music, trivia nights, but we also have fresh, always homemade, locally sourced food, and we serve it with a sense of Gemütlichkeit. This is a German word that conveys a sense of warmth and coziness and belonging. We're excited to show off how we're growing and that this is the place to be.
Welcome back to Don Bachelor Stadium in Grand Blanc, Michigan. Jonathan Turner alongside Ryan Glinsky. Had a chance to listen to Sarah Perkins and hear what Irene's is all about here in Grand Blanc. So if you haven't already done so, make sure you check them out. All the information, obviously, on our website, on their website. It's an unbelievable experience, Ryan, and we are glad to be partnering with them here for our pregame and postgame coverage here of this U.S. Open Cup match. And as we continue this conversation, you had a chance to talk with Paul Doro here earlier this week as well to talk about this matchup. And as we talked about with Matt Glaser and the Forward Madison side, they are facing some of the same trials and tribulations.
Yeah, I think the only difference is Paul Doro mentioned that they don't really have their full squad here yet, and the players that they've been looking to add for the regular season here in the summer, because, as we mentioned, USL2 sides are typically filled with college players, but college is still in session at the moment, but they've kind of had limited training sessions, and asking Paul Doro, I was like, who should we look out for? What are we looking for in the game? And Paul's like, we got to figure that out here on the field, and that's kind of a scary thing, but I think at the same time could also be a benefit, because Matt Glaser mentioned himself, I go, how do you look for this here in film? What are you looking out for? He goes, we'll just have to figure it out on the field. So it could be a little bit of a benefit, but it could also be a bad thing. And I'm kind of just seeing how the first 20 minutes of this game truly look. And I think Flint City, also to mention, they lost in the semifinals last year in the USL the USL playoffs. So they got that feeling in there as well. So they're trying to bounce back from that. But again, they have really good players. Saw a couple of college players here from the state of Michigan playing on this side. So this should be a fun, exciting matchup.
Let's take a listen to what Paul Doro had to say about tonight's matchup.
How excited were you when you finally got the word that Flint City would be hosting a U.S. Open Cup game? Normally you guys are traveling, but you guys get to host one in front of your home fans, your community. What was going through your head when it was announced that you guys would be hosting a game?
Yeah, it was pretty cool, and I know there were a lot of people that went into making that happen. Letters to U.S. Soccer, a lot of campaigns around the community, support from the Grand Blanc area, Genesee County in particular, and obviously the fans and the supporters of the Flint City Bucks. So, it was exciting to be in the Open Cup, and then when we found out we got to host the game, we were double excited. So it's pretty cool. It'll be a great environment.
How do you feel the team is progressing, Flint City, that is, leading up to this game?
Well, it's going to be a bit of a different roster than what our regular season roster will be, just because of the timing of how college seasons end and getting players in. So it'll look a little different for this game than it will for the regular season, but we do have some overlap. So we're pretty excited about it, and excited for the opportunity to participate in the Open Cup.
Do you guys have a deeper roster than normal, I guess, in terms of like how many guys you'll have on your bench compared to the normal regular season, or will it be a little bit more thin?
No, I think the rules are pretty similar as far as what you can have on your bench and the players you can use on a given day. So the roster will be bigger for the regular season, but you can still dress the same number of players.
What are some key things that your team needs to do in order to make not only just to win this game against Forward Madison, but to make a deeper run into the U.S. Open Cup?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you've got to, like, joking aside, but you've got to score more goals than the opposition. Yeah. So, I'm not really looking past Forward Madison. I mean, they're a very formidable opponent, and they've had success within the U.S. Open Cup. So we're going to prepare for this one, and we're not even sure who the opponent would be. So looking beyond this game before it happens and before you have success in it, I think is a little bit of fool's gold. So we'll just concentrate on this one. But it would be exciting for the community, exciting for the players involved, for the staff and the administration of the Bucks. If we were able to have success against Forward Madison, that would be a really cool environment to be a part of, for sure. So we're excited for the opportunity, but we're definitely not going to overlook Forward Madison.
So then back to the Forward Madison game. What are some keys to success that you think will be vital to you guys winning and advancing?
Well, we're going to have to be very defensively sound. So that's going to be something that we talk about and work on within the group. They're a professional team. They're going to be dangerous. They're going to have players that we're going to help the players identify, to be aware of. make sure that, they're not the ones that hurt us. But defense, we're going to start from a defensive principles, and then we'll work through the attacking pieces. Those, I don't want to say they're easier. It's difficult to score goals, but they're a little bit easier to teach, right? So we'll start from being defensively very resolute, trying to be dialed in on our set pieces on both sides of the ball, both attacking and defending. I think a game like this can come down to set pieces. So if you can execute on those and defend them really well, and then be dangerous on the ones that you've earned, that could be the difference in the story of the outcome of the game. So we'll work on those as well. Thank you to the community that has supported this Bucks team throughout all of the years that we've been in Flint and in Genesee County, and to everybody that went into making this game possible at Grand Blanc High School. It's going to be an exciting thing, and we hope lots of people come out and support the Bucks.
Welcome back to Don Bachelor Stadium here in Grand Blanc, Michigan. U.S. Open Cup game. Ford Madison, Flint City Bucks. And Ryan, we had a chance to listen to Paul Doro, had a chance to listen to Matt Glaser. A lot on the line here tonight. It's win or go home. It's do or die.
100%, but it's madness. Flint City, they're the giant killers. They're used to being in this situation, and I just took a look during the break just to see how many people are here. We're joined by the Flint City youth squad as well.
Michigan Bucks is what they're called, right?
The Mid-Michigan Bucks?
Michigan Bucks.
Michigan Bucks, and I just took a look during the break there. There is a ton of people. It is jam-packed in here. The music's going, the energy's here, and it's going to be a madhouse here tonight.
So is madness only for basketball in March, or is it also for soccer?
It's also for soccer, apparently.
Also, do you guys agree with that statement or no? Yes, absolutely. Are the Flint City Bucks going to win tonight? I think they agree the Flint City Bucks are going to win here tonight. But, hey, as we talk about this match and get ready here, just moments away from getting underway, what are your thoughts about this game, and who thinks will come away with a victory?
So it's going to be the opening 20 minutes. Can someone try to nick a goal in the opening 20 minutes? New squads for both sides. They haven't really seen each other, and that's what both coaches have mentioned, the opening 20 minutes, how important it's going to be, that little chess match. But, John, looking at both of these teams and how these states have performed here today, Madison, they've already lost once in March Madness. They've been upset before. And we got a Madison team here today. And the state of Michigan, they've already won basketball games here today. I'm rocking with the soccer team. Flint City from the state of Michigan, another upset. Madison, they're going to be upset again 2 times tonight. Flint City's going to win this thing 2-1.
2-1 in favor of Flint City. Ryan, I'm also on there. I think this is going to go to overtime, though, unfortunately. I think Flint City wins it in overtime. I think by a score is also 2-1. But, yeah, Flint City Bucks come away with the victory tonight at home in front of 3,000-plus fans.
Yeah, it is.
They all agree with that, too, I think. So.
Hey, what's your score predictions? What's the score? 3-0?
3-0.
7-0, 3-1. Wow. Ambitious score lines. Ambitious. 3-1, 3-1, 7. We got a lot. 7-0s, 3-1s. We got every score line there is.
Hey, it's the madness of March. It's also the history of the U.S. Open Cup. We talk about this all the time. Upsets are something that happen all the time at this level, and we're excited to bring that coverage to you. Don't forget, coming up here at the conclusion of this game, we'll be back here for post-game coverage here on the National Soccer Network. But for Ryan Glinsky, I'm Jonathan Turner. You've been watching the pregame show presented by Irene's Craft Kitchen here in Grand Blanc, Michigan. So long, everybody from Don Bachelor Stadium in Grand Blanc.